Hello friends, this is Nikhil Vijay. Welcome to my YouTube channel InfoStute. In our day-to-day life, we might be doing some work which we consider not to be useful. But in near future, it might become very important. Also, in any situation, we know the importance of being calm and composed. In today's video, I'm going to talk about an incident where these two things and a glass of water saved the life of 81 people on an aircraft. So let's get started. Alrosa Flight 514 had been used for 20 years before this incident and it was working really well. On 7 September 2010, the flight was scheduled from Udachny in Russia to Moscow. All was fine until the electrical equipment started functioning abnormally. Both the pilots and the control tower neglected that issue and considered it to be a nuisance. But a little later, all the power supply in the flight was cut off. The navigation systems, electrical equipment, the communication with the control tower, everything was shut off. Due to all this, even the fuel pump was not functioning and the flight could stay on air only for 30 minutes. But this time was not enough for the flight to reach the nearest airport. To kickstart the generator and to see the ground clearly for making any emergency landing, the altitude of the flight had to be lowered. But since there was no equipment to measure the angle of the descent, the pilots used an old and forgotten technique, a glass of water. They were constantly watching the water and they measured the angle of descent by the inclination of water. But even after lowering the altitude, they failed to kickstart the generator. But the crew did not lose any hope. The pilots were constantly scanning the ground to look for a suitable area to make an emergency landing. Suddenly, the pilots saw an old and abandoned airport in a small town called Izma. The airport was so old that it couldn't be even seen on the map. The airport supervisor, Sergei Stoteniko, in his own will was maintaining the runway by cleaning the garbage, cutting the shrubs, and also marking the lines of the runway for all these years. The crew members and the passengers sitting at the back of the aeroplane, with presence of mind and without any panic, moved to the front of the aeroplane for emergency evacuation. And this was done before the landing. The pilots also realized that the length of the runway was actually 2000 feet shorter than the required length. But since there were trees around the runway, they provided the force to reduce the speed of the aeroplane. So the landing was done successfully and all the 72 passengers and the 9 crew members were completely safe without even a single injury. 1 month after this event, the pilot and the co-pilot were made the heroes of the Russian Federation and the other crew members were given the Orders of Courage. 2 years after this incident, the old and abandoned airport supervisor Sergei Stoteniko was also given his decorations. So friends, some of the concepts that we learned during our education might seem not to be useful, but it might have any important and useful application. It lies within us to stay calm and composed even in the most trickiest situations and apply the concepts that we have learnt wisely. So thank you friends. I hope you like this video. Please do subscribe my channel InfoStute for more videos on interesting topics. Also, if you know any interesting topics and if you want me to talk about it, please leave it in the comment section. Thank you friends. Have a nice day.